If you have looked for where the financial data is in a 10K from the SEC website and you just haven't been able to find it, this is going to be the video for you. Certain companies just don't put the 10K where most of the rest of the companies do. And so it can be hard to find the financial data because they actually split the 10K into two different documents. So let me show you an example of two examples, one where the 10K is in the normal spot, one where it's in a different spot, which is called the Exhibit 13. So we're going to go to this sec.gov. That's going to be our starting point. You're going to want to go to company filings. And so let's pick a company that's pretty normal, Microsoft. First stock I ever bought. So we're going to type in 10K here. We're going to find all the 10K documents are going to show here. We're going to click on documents to find the most recent one. And then you see you have a list of the different components of this 10K document. And the main 10K is going to be this first one at the top. Another way to quickly recognize it in the more recent 10K filings, like 2020, they have this IXBRL. That's going to be a good indicator that's going to have the data that we want. So we're going to go ahead and click on that. And it's going to pull up our 10K. So we have the Form 10K here at the top. We want to look for item 8, which is financial statements and supplementary data. That's going to be the item you want to look for in every 10K. That's going to have the income statement, the balance sheet, the cash flow statement. It'll have the major financials that every company is required to report, regardless of what company they are. So we have item 8 here, and then we have the income statement, we have the balance sheet, and we have the cash flow statement. So that was pretty simple, pretty easy. We can put in numbers, net income, revenue, and pretty straightforward. But let's say you went through that process and there wasn't a balance sheet, there wasn't an income statement, and I've seen that from time to time. So let's take an example of one where I did see that. So if we put in Wells Fargo here and we go the same process, we look at the most recent 10K. You can see here they actually have two links where there's a IXBRL. One here at the top where there's the 10K, and then this Exhibit 13, which is where you'll see the financial data sometimes. So if we went into the regular 10K, that top level, for one, there's no table of contents, so that's kind of annoying. Number two, you see that it skipped over a lot of items, and then you have item 8, which is the one that we want, and they're saying you can find it on the 2020 annual report. We can also find it in Exhibit 13. So let me show you that. So you see how it's kind of incomplete. And that's because for whatever reason, they put it in a separate file, this Exhibit 13. So that's going to be in here. You're going to want to click to get that one open. And because it's a bank, it's going to take a long time to load. I don't know if you've ever compared the 10Ks between a bank and a regular company, and you look at here, 242 pages. Yeah, right. Reading financials for banks is not a picnic, and it's not. There's a lot to it. So in this case, we can see they have somewhat of a table of contents, right? They don't have it broken out into like item 8, but we kind of know that, all right, we can see the statement of income, balance sheet, statement of cash flows. So that's where we're going to want to go. And it's consolidated so that we know that's the main part. Because, there will be parts of the financials which are broken up and you'll see them in the notes. But when you look for consolidated statements or consolidated balance sheets, that's where the main data is, and that's where you can draw it from. So you can see this is their income statement. The net income here is at the very bottom. If we scroll down to the balance sheet, you see they have like total assets, total liabilities. That's kind of what we're more used to seeing. So hopefully that helps. Hopefully I've solved your problem if you've been struggling and just didn't happen to know this weird thing about some companies and their 10Ks. I know I ran into it when I first started, and hopefully this has been helpful.